Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's response when asked why he didn't expose terrible Man United players. Manchester United hero Ole Gunnar Solskjaer produced a modest response when asked by staff why he didn't expose the terrible players who let him down, according to reports. The Norwegian was axed in November, less than 24 hours after a dire 4-1 defeat to Watford. Yet while Ralf Rangnick has since taken over, the club remain in crisis. United hired Solskjaer as a replacement for Jose Mourinho back in December 2018, initially on an interim basis, before giving him the job permanently. He guided the club to third in his first full season in charge, before steering them to a second-placed Premier League finish last term. After United made the Europa League final, the board decided to give the 48-year-old a new 3-year contract and back him with the summer signings of Jadon Sancho, Raphael Varane and Cristiano Ronaldo. However, Solskjaer oversaw a dire run before eventually being relieved of his duties in November. He gave a farewell interview in the aftermath, shedding tears as he opened up on how proud he was of his time at United. Think you know sport? Test your sporting knowledge with our tricky quiz. According to the Daily Mail, on his final day, staff members asked Solskjaer why he didn't expose the players who let him down. The Norwegian would rarely criticize his players in public, preferring instead to vent his feelings in private, in stark contrast to predecessor Mourinho. Solskjaer is said to have merely produced a rueful smile and shrugged his shoulders when the matter was put to him. Yet many of the same problems the club were suffering from under the 48-year-old remain, with Rangnick having a rocky start to his own era. Hopes were high the 63-year-old would turn the situation at United around, especially given his fine work at RB Leipzig, Hoffenheim, and Schalke in the past. Don't miss 4 Man United players West Ham could accept in Rice swap deal. Abramovich backs punishment for Chelsea striker Lukaku. 6 players Liverpool could axe this year, but performances have been poor and they've failed to beat Wolves, Newcastle, and Young Boys in the short time since he took over. To make matters even worse, many United players are fed up. Jesse Lingard wants to leave, with the England international rarely featuring since his return from a loan spell with West Ham back in the summer. Donny van de Beek is also eyeing a departure, even if Rangnick has promised the Netherlands international more action behind the scenes. Anthony Martial is another player who has grown fed up with life at the club amid interest from the likes of Sevilla, Barcelona, Juventus, and Newcastle. And Dean Henderson and Edinson Cavani are also unhappy with their minutes at the club too. The report notes that, over in Germany, they're surprised Rangnick even got given the job in the first place. There was said to be a feeling that, at the age of 63, his best days of coaching were probably over. And whether Rangnick can turn things around, especially with so many matches left to play, is something only time will tell. Former Arsenal star Perry Groves, meanwhile, has expressed a belief Rangnick could go down as one of the worst appointments in Premier League history. The players, you can tell they're not having Rangnick, said Groves. You can tell they're not convinced by him because they're not putting in the effort they should be. He then added,